Well, Luke, big weekend ahead goes without saying. When you get to this time of year, obviously it's exciting for the fans, but is it exciting for you as well?
Yeah, it's the guys have done a lot of work. There's a lot of sacrifice put in. There's the summer, there's the training, there's the tie with academics, living, families, travel. It just culminates. I think it's an exciting time. You got to keep your focus because I know the guys want to play more, and you're ramping yourself into that mode because of the stretch time. But um, it's exciting to see the reward of the hard work they put in and come full circle.
When you have Northern Michigan at home here, is that a good thing to be able to focus on yourselves and not worry about what everybody else in the league is doing?
Yeah, I mean that's we got our hands full with what we got to get done and how we want to do it. Northern's they've played great hockey here. I get the win loss, but they've played favorable hockey for how they get some things done. Everything else takes care of itself. It's the old cliche: you can control your controllables, but it's just really really true because we can't spend any time on something that's not going to help us day to day.
Take some questions here. We got Don, we got Mitch on the call. If you have a question.
Yeah, I'll shoot first here. First things first. What's to say here? The pregame dress code's gonna look a little different on Friday.
Yeah, I think the boys got a little team to represent and salute, and we're rooting for the Cato Knights, and so yeah, I think our guys they've got a little excitement level for them. It's been fun to be part of that journey and see them. Those kids, they work so hard. Their state tournament time, so we want to make sure we do our part supporting them. And yeah, my guess is you'll see some flash of black and silver under some suit coats.
That's awesome. How do you keep guys focused during the game, just on the game, and not really focus on what's going on outside, trying to maybe scoreboard watch?
Yeah, we've talked about it. We actually had a good meeting about it again today. Everybody else has got a job to do, and that's their job. Our job is to go out and play hockey and do it the right way against the opponent that is at hand. And um, I guess everyone else has got a narrative for what they want to see and say, and our narrative has got to be about Northern and us playing as good a hockey as we can at this time of year. That's goal one, and you're hoping to be basically opponentless when it comes to this time of year. You want to get revved up to make sure you're playing the right brand.
You mentioned the opponentless part. How do you handle a team that on Friday could be fighting for that eight-spot fair state, as maybe on Saturday they have absolutely nothing to lose?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think when you get to this time of year, though, you can't pick opponents, and you can't if you ever see Europe hockey where they get to pick their poison, who they play in the playoffs over there, it's pretty nutso that you're gonna choose a team. It's not about it's about what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and you love our guys for that fact. 'Cause I think that has been a very determining way here the last 6-8 games. They've known the imminent props. This could be the case, and you just want to go out there and play to our strengths. And Northern's going to do their part. They're a team that's going to play hard. Schicker does a great job on their team with coaching them the right way, and you got to be up on guard.
Coach, you mentioned the past 6, 8 games. Well, in the past 7, you're 5-1-1. The adage is you want to be playing your best hockey at the end of the season. Is that a fair assessment about if you look at everything season long? Are you guys playing your best hockey right now?
Yeah, I would say we're about as close. I mean, you're always, I think selfishly, teams that we coach are going to be in this spot. There is a ton of detail that happens over time. There were 17 new players. There was obviously a lot of excitement to get out the gate, and then there was a lull that we just weren't sharp on, whether that was injury, fatigue, overplaying guys because of injury. We're still out a couple bodies here, but for the most part, it probably is a big time stretch of the year where we've been connected offensively and defensively. The guys have been very sacrificial, and they've been very boisterous about for each other accountability wise on that.
Thanksgiving seems like a long time ago, but when you last faced this team, Power play was pretty potent, 50% on the weekend, 4 of 8. Is it going to take that kind of effort again this weekend?
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of power plays. Period. We're averaging like 2 a night. Right, wrong, or indifferent. But you get into this time of year, your 5-on-5 play, which we've liked out of our group, has been pretty tight. At the same time, when opportunities present themselves, special team wise, this is where you get separation, and we'll be counting on, whether we work hard enough to go draw penalties or whatever that scenario may be. But when it is our turn to strike, you got to be ready, and that couple groups of guys have got a big weight on their shoulders that way.
And your team is much different right now in the fact of the disparity of the scoring. That series back in November, Watkins had 2, Lemaire had 2, but now if you look at the contributions you're getting, it's from across the lines.
I think as you go through the year, you were trying to build depth scoring. Guys are maybe getting different opportunities now than they did then. It was a great, even this past weekend at PG, like some of those lines put up monster scoring chances for themselves on what they got done. So you need those guys ticking, but you do need the depth scoring, and you need the idea that you're going to go play the right way. Our guys are going to play hockey correctly, not it's not going to be point night. I can tell you that. It's the league, the parity, everything's too hard, and there's too much pride involved.
I'll sneak in one last question. What was your team's reaction to what transpired on Sunday over in Italy?
There was a very strong contingency as the day wore on about the meeting of the two teams. Country for country, the Canadian guys here might have been cheering pretty loud for Sweden along the way, like in the prelims there. And there was some dark days, dark moments afterwards as far as Monday went concerned. I might have had a USA Hockey sweatshirt on. Some guys weren't very approving of what I had on, but it's great for the game. The game is outstanding. I get it, the tightness of what it meant, but what it did mean for hockey, it's a huge, huge shot in the arm, men's and women's hockey across the world.
I got one last question. How has this group been able to be so resilient this season?
To their credit, I think they've kept each other very accountable. There was a few moments, Mitch, where I felt like the sky was falling. There's no question around, because what I think people have just got to come to reality is look at the scores in the top 20, night in, night out, the closeness, the back and forth, the wins, the losses. I think our guys have found playing the right way, playing together, being very, like I said, accountable, and not being outcome driven. There was a huge, the whole Tech weekend when we got swept up at Tech, we played good hockey. We didn't win. And that was maybe a little bit of factor. I think our health has let us practice back to what we normally practice at a huge, hard pace. So those factors have probably come in not sitting on top sometimes brings the boots out of you here. It pulls you in and makes you refocus.
Given the beginning of the year, we knew this league was going to be close, but just the last weekend of the year, 5 teams can end up in the number 1 spot. Does that surprise you at all, or is that completely expected for a league like this?
I don't think it's surprising. Not after you go through and play the teams in the league and how there's just good, there's some major built-in rivalries across the way, but I think all teams, what they did with their roster construction, the depth of our league, the tightness, and there's not many inches out there that are forgiving, and then the goaltending in our league has been very good. So I think those are big signs where you're going to have tightness in your league, especially when it comes to team defense and goaltending the way it is.
Great. Thank you guys for jumping on the call. Appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank
You bet.